Hello everybody, it's Adam here coming back to you from Houdini 15, and today I'm going to venture into something I've never really done before, which is clothing for characters. We're going to try to make a top and a skirt for the Simple Female here. So the first thing we're going to do is jump into shop here, and we're going to base our construction off of actual garment patterns. And I've downloaded a few from the internet, and I'm just going to throw out 3 mantra surfaces here. This one is going to be called bodice front. This one here will be bodice back, and this one here will just be called skirt. And we can close out the tree. And let's populate these. So if I go to surface and say use map, I have some here inside my, been playing around with Marvelous Designer. That's kind of what inspired me here to see if I could reproduce some of this in Houdini. We'll choose bodice front JPEG, go to back here, use map. We'll use the back for this one, and for skirts there is also a skirt pattern, skirt shape. Okay, now that we have our image maps that we're going to trace over, let's return to Obj, and I'm just going to activate the Create tab here and Control click on the grid. Now the images that I loaded, I made them all the same size, so this would be convenient for the tutorial, but they don't have to be. You can trace from any size. So 5.15, they're 515 by 582. And we can just do 2 by 2. That is the size of the image. So I'm going to dive into this grid here, and we do need a UV, so I'm going to throw down a UV texture, visualize it, pop back up, and I'm going to call this template bodice front. And we will go to the material tab, browse out into shop, and let's get it this time, bodice front, accept. And there we are, we have it. Now I think I have to transform this -90, and now if I do spacebar 2, spacebar 1, there's our front. I put the word in there so you'd know which was the correct orientation there. Spacebar front. Let's go ahead and duplicate this. Copy, paste, paste. So we want all 3 of these. This one will be bodice back, and this one will just be skirt. Okay, so if we turn them off, we need to browse out to their material. This guy needs to be the back, and this one here needs to be the skirt. And now we can turn them on and see our different patterns. So what we need to do now is actually trace this in an orthographic view. So this is top, we want front. So spacebar 3 gives us front. And then I'm going to select all of these, and I want this point here. I know this is kind of a blurry image, but there is a point here. It's the center point. I want this point to line up with this line, so I can use snapping to guarantee that we'll have a straight line along this fold, which we're going to unfold one side to the other using a mirror. So we'll go back to transform, and I'm going to middle click to get to the ladder, go to a small number, and just kind of drag it over until it kind of lines up somewhere around there. And I think I'll drag it up too, because I can see my grid line here, and this is in between grid, so the snapping won't work that well unless I can get it near that grid line. There we go. Good enough. So now I can pan around, and I should be able to get to drawing. So we'll start off with the bodice front here, and we'll use our curve tool, and I'm going to press the X key, and watch this icon here. That turns it on. If I press X again, it turns it off. So we're going to turn this on and off while we're drawing to make sure we're snapping. You can see just moving there, I get a snap point. I'm going to click, drag up, I get another snap point up there, and now I'm going to press the X key so that I can go wherever I want along this curve. And it does look like my pattern is slightly off, but I'm just going to kind of make even length segments to form a curve here, and I'm going to count as I go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll stretch this guy out to here, 6, over to here, and then I'm going to do the same thing, count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, here to here to here to here. I'll click on this and then press enter to close the curve. Now we can't see the closed curve because we have our template on top, so we'll turn off the template for now, and there's our pattern. Now you can fuss with these points if you want, but I'm just going to continue. We'll go ahead and rename this. This is going to be Geo Bodice Front. Let's put an O in there. There we go. Dive inside, and we'll go ahead and add a color so we can see it a little better. Right click, type of color, and I'm just going to use red because it really stands out well, especially in video capture. And then we need to do a remesh. Or no, we need to do our mirror first. Drop down our mirror, and now we've got both sides, and now we do a remesh. And this is kind of how, if you're coming from Marvelous Designer, this is kind of how the remesh is like your particle separation. And let's press the W key so we can visualize that. It's making tets for us. And if we lower this number, we can increase our particle separation, right? So find a number that kind of works well with your system. I'm just going to use 0.15. That looks good to me. And now we have to start stitching or creating groups that will hold our stitch edges. So I'm going to press the S key, so I'm in select mode here. I'm going to activate points, and I'm going to select this top one, turns light blue or a cyan. Hold down the A key, drag to the end of the line, and click this one. Now I'm going to activate model. Hit the arrow if you don't see it until you see group. Click group, and then I'm going to type top R. So that's going to be for the right size, right side of the character. I'm imagining I'm wearing this, and even though this is on the left side of the screen, if I were wearing the garment, it would be on my right shoulder. So let's just chop through the rest of these. I click in the gray area to deselect things. Press the S key again. Click a point. Hold down the A key. Drag out. Click the group. And this is going to be top L. Click in the gray area. Press the S key. Click a point. Hold down the A key. Drag down. And I click group. And that is going to be side right, and then I'm going to click away, press the S key, click a point, hold down the A key, drag down, hit the group, and I'm going to say side left. Now these sides we just created are actually going to be stitched to another garment, the back side of the garment, but these two sides in here actually are going to be stitched to each other. So this side is going to be stitched to this side. And this is called a dart in sewing terms. And you can tell it's kind of forms an arrow. It's a point. So once again, press the S key. And let's get in here. You might be tempted to go all the way to the end of the point of the dart. But this doesn't have anywhere to connect to. So I can't actually use that point to connect to stitch anything to. So I'm going to drop down one more, select that point, hold down the A key, move to the end, and then I'm going to click the group again, and I'm going to say dart inside R1, because we're going to have two of these on the right side. Then I'm going to click in the gray area, press the S key, click the companion point next to that one, hold down A, drag to the bottom, click the bottom point, group this. This is going to be dart inside R2. So that's going to be the second seam for the right side. Click away, and this time I'll press the S key again, click the point, A, group. This is dart inside L1, left one. Click away, S key, point, A, key, click, group, dart inside L2. Alright, we've got one done. Now, just to make things clear, here in the inside the geo, I'm going to colorize some nodes here. Now, these purple ones may be problematic, and that's why I'm colorizing them purple, and they represent the dart. They require a special attention. Now, these other ones up here are garment to garment. I'm going to colorize those green. They're good to go. So now we have one object done. So let's go ahead and turn on our template for bodice back here. And this happened to me before. Dart inside. Oh, we have a misspelling on that. Let's jump in there for a second and correct that. And that's why we've got that error. So that should be a 2, not an @ symbol. Okay, now we're better. Now if I turn this one on, you can see at this point I've lost the ability to view my images in front view. And I don't know what causes that. I've got texture. I don't really need lighting. I have them on. I can see the edge, but I can't see my UV. I ran into this earlier, and see if I go out to, we're in W mode. That's what it is. Okay, so let's press W again. There we go. Now we're into back. So if that happens to you, remember that you can't see your texture when you're in wire. You can't see the image when you're in wireframe mode. Now, this point, I'm going to kind of select all these and kind of drag this down just a touch to kind of get it more in line with the grid, just like we did with this front bodice piece. And then check this line. Imagine it needs to come over just a touch more, like that. Alright, so now let's go back to the Create tool, shelf, click the curve, and press the X key so it'll snap. Or you can use the icon, click, move up. This one lines up a lot better, so click there. Now press the X key again, and we're going to do the same number. Remember, we did 6 on this curve, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we did 8 on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we'll just continue on around, trying to keep the lines straight, matching the pattern. And then we're going to lock this in, press enter, and we will turn off the template, and we'll rename this to Geo Bodice Back. Let's dive inside. We're going to do the same procedure here. Drop down a color node, and maybe this one will be orange, And then I'll drop down, what's our next node? A mirror, yeah. We need our mirror. That gives us our mirror, and now we need our remesh. Choose remesh. If I could only operate this, okay. Go away. There we are. Remesh. We'll visualize that, and we'll set our target edge length to the same value, 0.15. Press W to see our tets, and they're kind of hard to see, so maybe I will pick a different color. Purple, sure. Okay, so now we have to do the same process, which is make our groups again. Let's go ahead and activate our model tool shelf so the group tool is available. I'm going to press the S key, and we immediately see a problem here. I don't see any points along here. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, because we're still looking at the color node. Let's go to remesh. There we are. Okay, so we've got the yellow highlight here. Now when we click here, hold down the A key, drag out, and we'll hit the group, and once again we're going to name it exactly the same thing. So it's going to be top underscore R. Click away, press the S key, click A. This is going to click the group, call this one top underscore L. Click in the gray area, press the S key, click here, A, move down to the end, click group. This is going to be side R. Click in the gray area, press the S key, click your first point, hold down the A key, move to the end, click the group, and this will be side left or side L. Click in the gray area, press the S key, and once again we're going to observe our rule by not selecting that one, starting one down. Hold down the A key, go all the way to the end, group, and we're going to call this one Dart inside R1. Click in the gray area, press the S key, click our first one, A, down, and we're going to click the group, Dart underscore inside R2, click in the gray area, press the S key, A key, click, group, Dart inside L1, click in the gray area, S key, click on the point, A key, click the end, group, Dart inside L2. Okay, and I did the same exact mistake. Okay, so L2, it's named correctly, and we're going to colorize these the same way. The Dart groups will be the problematic purple, and the garment to garment groups will be the go ahead green. So now we've got that one done. Let's turn off bodice here. Press the W key to go back into shaded mode. Turn on the template for the skirt. Now, I'm not sure what the best way is to do this. We're not going to use a mirror on this. Well, maybe, yeah, I think we will use a mirror on this. But we're going to have to drop in a lot of points to get this curve because Houdini doesn't really support a mixed curve of straight and curved. This area here is going to be hollow basically, so this is going to be an edge that we connect, and this is going to be an edge that we connect, and it's going to connect. Okay, so let's just begin here. I don't think we necessarily need snapping on this one. So I'm going to go to the Create tab, Create Curve, click one, go out to here, and I'm going to count, I guess. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the halfway point, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, straight as possible, and then we'll count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hit the enter key, and now we have this set up. Okay, let's turn off the template for that, and we can view it. We're going to rename this to Geo Skirt, and there may be better ways to make this skirt option. I'm almost thinking you could just maybe cookie out a center from a circle or something like that. But we're going to proceed with the pattern-based approach in case we decide that, you know, oh, we want to extend something in a sewing type fashion. Let's dive into the Geo Skirt here. We're going to drop down a color on this one as well. Oops, let's connect that back up. Let's pick, I don't know, maybe green. And we'll try the same thing here. We're going to do a mirror, and we're going to drop down a remesh, and we'll activate that, and we'll use the same exact number. And let's see, our direction on our mirror needs to change. We want to mirror it that way. But because we didn't have our origin set up right, I think we're going to have to kind of dial this guy in somehow. I guess that looks pretty good. Not really. Let's press W and examine our tets. We do have a nice tet system going on in there. And what might be a better way to guarantee that these lines actually line up would be to just throw away our mirror. And we're going to create 2 of these and stitch them together front to back, just like we do the bodice. So this is going to be skirt front. Front, skirt front. Let's dive back inside, and at this point we're going to do the same exact grouping technique. We just need to connect this edge and make a group for that edge and this edge. So we'll go activate our model tool shelf again, press the S key, select the first one, A, drag over to the end, hit the group, and this one is going to be called skirt R. That's the right side. Click in the gray area, press the S key, hit the first one, A key over, and then I'm going to choose group, and this is going to be called skirt L. So now we can go up here and we'll just copy and paste that one, and we'll have skirt back, and we will have to arrange them in the viewport, so I'm not too worried about things right now with that. Let's go ahead and turn those off, and the next step, at this point we've done a lot of setup, right? So we need to get our character into the scene. Let's choose the character, click Simple Female, wait for it to generate. This is a heavy-duty asset, so it takes a little time for it to appear in the scene. We will press W, and I'll do spacebar 1 to return to 3D viewport. And we'll do a little setup on our Simple Female here. We will go to the display, and we're going to turn off the t-shirt, set it to none, and we'll set the pants to none. And I'm going to right click and allow editing of contents, and then I'm going to dive inside, go full screen, spacebar mouse wheel out, and up here near the top there's Geo Skin. So this is what we want to our cloth to collide with. So we need to activate the cloth tool shelf and make this a rigid collider. And let's dive inside and see what happened. Ugh, can't believe, where did it go? There, it should just be an attribute added somewhere. Wow. Maybe it didn't work right. Maybe I didn't press enter. Did I have to do that? Let's read the message again. Okay, we're going to go back to Simple Female here, out to GeoSkin. Okay. Oh, there it is. Select the object for the colliders and press enter. Okay, we're going to press enter now with the mouse in the 3D viewport. Enter. Now if we dive inside, we should see an attribute. Yeah, the attribute was created here. And all it really does is it just points to this dot path here. So I'm going to actually shake this loose and place it right before the display, just in case there's anything weird about the character that needs to fetch from this null output. And then I move my display flag back down. So this is our attribute create for the cloth. So we'll jump back up. And I see a problem already. I've got this AutoDOP network inside. Oh no, it's not inside, it's outside. Good, so we don't have a problem. Alright, so the next step is going to be, we don't really need these guys anymore. I'm just going to kind of move them off to the side here. The next step is we're going to turn on our fronts and our back. And we're going to get these guys sized into place here. So I guess the front needs to come forward along the z-axis, so I'm going to say 0.2, and then we'll move the back in the negative direction, same amount. I'm going to select them both, and we'll drop our scale down to say 0. Maybe 1. There we are. Dial it in, and then I'll use the ladder and kind of move this up so that the clothes kind of where they would be if she was wearing them. And I don't know the exact placement yet until we do the stitching. So let's go ahead and do the stitching. And the way I have been doing the stitching is just so I can create the first stitch. I'll use the cloth stitch tool here, which I guess we have to turn these into cloth first. So we select the front, click cloth. It adds in some things, some nodes, and then we go to the back, make it cloth, go back up, and now we'll use the stitch cloth tool. And it is a series of steps. So you select the cloth object, we'll do front, hit enter. Then you select a point. I'm going to select this corner point. And then you hit enter. Then you spin around to the back, select this piece of cloth, hit enter, and then select the relative point on this garment that you want to stitch to. Enter. So now you can see we have 1 point stitched, and as you can guess, this is a nightmare if you have to do this manually. So what we want to do, I'm going to press the L key to lay out our AutoDOP network, is go down to this cloth stitch, and we're just going to leverage our groups at this point. So we know front, I'm just going to say top right to top right. So you see the convenience of having these named exactly the same. You know what to type where. So that's going from the front to the back using these points in top right and the goal points in top right. So let's copy this, paste it, connect it in, and now I can do the same thing. I can just say top left to top left on the back. Now those are stitched, and then I can paste again and connect that in. And I can say, okay, I think it was side right to side underscore R, and those worked. And I'm going to paste one more time, connect that constraint in, and I'll do side left to side left. And that looks okay. Now, one thing I do when I initially am trying to get this stuff to fit is I'll turn off gravity. And let's pop up one level, and I'm going to drop my frame timeline down to 24 frames. We'll activate real time, and finally we can simulate. I'm going to just simulate all 24 frames here. We'll wait for it to cook out, and we'll see if we've forgotten anything. Let's rewind and kind of watch this. Now, so we have to deal with collision at this point. And there's a little bit of setup we need to do to get the collision object to recognize, but basically we're getting there. It's starting to snap onto the body. So let's dive into the Autodop network, go to GeoSkin, that was our collision object, and activate the collision tab. Now, for clothing, we do not want to use volume-based collision. So that means the surface tab is going to control our collision. Now for thickness we want 0.005, and if we visualize that and we turn off our display, what it does is it kind of projects the surface out a little bit from the display geometry so that the cloth can collide. That way when it actually comes to rest, it's not inside the display geometry. And then on the actual cloth objects themselves, we have a collision tab. And this is pretty small. So we want to drop this to 0.001. And we'll select this other one, collision tab 0.001. And then inside the finite element solver, it has a collision tab. We want max collisions to be 4. And now let's rewind and simulate out. And we're waiting for our numbers to cook out here. And you can see it takes a bit longer. This 4 max collision passes does increase the sim time. And you may need to go up as high as 8 to get garments to correctly come to rest on the geometry. So let's check this out now. If I hit play, you can see that our garment here, and I'm going to go ahead and we'll remove this, what do they call that, collision guide, turn back on our full geometry here. We are getting a garment, but you can see because of these flaps down here, we're not getting a good fit. And that's what these darts are for, to kind of hem it into the body so that you can have a form-fitting top. So let's go ahead and stitch those guys, get them into place. Now these are, once again, I'm going to color them green. They're good to go. Now I should be able to do a paste. Maybe not. Yep, it did. Okay. And I'll connect that one in. Now the difference, Now the difference with a dart is we're not going from one object front to back. We're actually going from front to front. And instead of using top R, we're going to say dart inside R1. And then I'll copy that and we'll say R2. And if we actually switch this to soft, we can see and we'll rewind, we can see we have what's called cross stitching. You see what's happening? This one's getting sewn to that, and that's getting sewn to that. Now if we look over here, say we'll set this one to soft, and this is a nice way to visualize. We've got cross stitching going there too. That's not very good. So we may have to deal with fixing that as well. That's how you inspect your cross stitching. If you're coming from Marvelous Designer, you'll understand that as well, that sometimes you have to flip it around. Now one thing about Houdini is that this field is supposed to only contain points, and we're kind of abusing it by using groups. So what we need to do is we need to pop back out to our group and grab those points. So we'll go into the front and we'll choose, there's our dart inside R1, grab these points, and we'll dive back in and we will paste them right there. We'll go back up, dive into the bodice front, and pick our 2 points, and we'll copy all those. Go up one level back into our auto dop, and we'll paste that in there. And now you can see our cross stitching has been repaired. And let's go ahead and copy and paste that one. And we are still working on the front. We've done the right side, so let's do the left side. And I think, let's see, do we have the numbers here? That's R1, so we need the left side here, which is this. Jump inside. We're going to paste those numbers there. And it's so much easier to create your groups with the A key and cut and paste if you're wondering about, rather than use the stitch tool and click and select all your points. So I forget where I'm at in my process. Let's just go back here. We need left 2. So we'll grab left 2 and jump into AutoDop. And for this one, we'll paste it there. Enter, and now we have fixed the front cross stitching on the dart. Let's go ahead and pick our next one, which is the back. So we have the same deal here, our purple ones. This is dart 1, right 1 for the inside. Copy those numbers. Back up, down into our auto dop. And let's see, can I do a paste? Yeah, alright. And once again, we'll have to set this up. Instead of front, we're doing the back side now. Back side. And let's see, did we get lucky? No, that's terrible cross stitching. I thought numbers might match, but because the shape is different and the tets are laid out differently, the numbers don't match. So we got to paste them all in. And we'll go into the back and we'll grab the next one down, grab this number set, go up, and we'll go into the AutoDop network and we'll paste this into place, and we fix that side. We'll paste again and connect that into there, and we'll move to the next node down and grab our left one, L1. Back up into AutoDop. We're still set to front because we did a paste, so we got to correct that as well. Back to back, and go up. Dive into bodice back again. Go to the final group node. Copy, grab that into the AutoDop network. Paste it to there. And there you have it. We've got those fixed up. Now, this cross stitching on these other ones is kind of concerning too. On a previous attempt, I was able to just use the group names and it worked. And I'm going to colorize these guys purple too, so we know where our darts are. And I'm going to select all of these and put them into soft mode. This will let us visualize cross stitching. And sure enough, we do. We have cross stitching all the way around. So we're going to have to go through and grab the point numbers from these other ones. So it's not going to take that long. Let's just chop through it. Group 1, we have a small point set. And then go in here, and this is top right. Go up into this one. This is top. Let's see. What we really need is the top right for the back. Yeah, let's make sure we do this the right way. Top right for the back. Copy. And dive inside. And paste that there. We're doing front to back, and now we have correct. We've removed the cross stitching on that one. Let's go into bodice front here. We're on the left now, so we'll copy that and dive inside. Cloth stitching here, paste that. Go to the back, grab L1, or yes, we need top left. We're not, and then go into AutoDop, and we've corrected the cross stitching there. And now we can go to the next node down, which is side R. This is side R front. Go in here, and we've got side R front, paste that in. This is side R for back. Dive inside and paste that one. And now we corrected that. We've got one more to go. I know this is a lot of just setup. And we'll do side L for the front. Let's dive inside. And for this final one, side L front. And go into the back. The next green node. Copy. Go up. Paste the numbers in here. And we did it. So now if we simulate, we should get a decent fit. So let's go ahead and simulate. Now nothing seemed to happen, and this is what I don't understand cloth fully, but the reason why is because we are using soft. So let's go ahead and select them all, set them all to hard, and they should snap in. We'll see it in the viewport here when I do a rewind. There we go. Now if we simulate forward, we should get a nicer fit. And because we have took the time to create these darts, we are actually able to pull in the fabric just like a seamstress would making a real piece of cloth or a real top. So we're simulating down here 22, 23, 24, and there we go. We actually have a piece of garment that form fits our character. It looks more like a vest, though, than anything that a woman would be caught dead wearing. So, can we make it any better? Let's do this. We're going to rewind so we get back to our sizing and placement. I think that's a pretty boxy looking size. So I'm going to kind of drag this down. We'll say 8.5 there. Just so, maybe even down a little further, just so it's like right above her waistline. Whoops, something happened there. Okay, we're at 0.7, and you can see now we need to bring this up a bit because we can't be in collision with our mesh when we begin the simulation. So let's inspect. It looks like we've got some open areas that work, and I might want to get these even closer. So what if we do this? Whoops. Well, we can just select the back and set this one to negative 0.1. That might work, but it looks like the front is in collision. 1.25. There we go. So I want that as close as possible so it can snap quickly. And maybe I want both of these up just a touch more. The fussiness of doing sims with cloth. Alright. Now we will resim and see what we get out of this. Now in Marvelous Designer you can actually measure your character and get the waist length and measure your edge lengths and make everything fit like a true seamstress would. Now here in Houdini I'm just guessing, and I've never sewn a garment in the real world in my life, but now it looks a lot more sporty. See if I click away, and that might be something that would work. So now let's see what we can do with this skirt. And I haven't actually done the skirt yet. I'm just guessing here, But you can see that's pretty big. But because our image sizes were the same, I'm just going to guess at our scales here of 0, what did we had? 0.7. Well, we'll go back to our 0.1 starting point. We'll move, we'll set these to, I think was -90. We'll move them up to the waist level. And I'm going to kind of look around here. Her waist is definitely needs to be bigger, so let's go ahead and go like this, way out, and whoops, just translate on the Z to kind of get that there. Alright, so 3.4, let's set the back to -0.34, and we'll set the rotate to 90. And now we have a skirt around here that we just need to stitch together. So we already know how to stitch, so we're going to select the select nothing, hit the stitch cloth, and select the cloth object, and it's not actually working correctly. Not sure where I'm at. Select the geometry. Okay, let's just try this again. Cloth, select. It's not letting me select this for some reason. So we'll just dive into our AutoDOP network, and remember we have to make them cloth objects. Duh. Okay, that's why I can't select it. The tool recognized that. So we'll make that a cloth object. We'll make this a cloth object. And now we're going to try to use the tool again. Cloth, select. I don't know what happened to, let's escape out. Where did my other back go? Let's just try and find it here. Space G. Weird. Let's take a look at what's going on in here. I thought we drew our own curve. There it is. Oh, we need to rewind. I bet that's it. There we go. So let's reset our Y, 0.765. 0.765. And let's try the tool again. So select nothing, stitch cloth, select cloth, enter. None type object. Weird. What is going on here? Select. I think we got some kind of bug. So let's just hack it. We're going in here. We know what we have to do. Let's check our cloths up here. Oh, we only have skirt front wasn't created as a cloth object. Okay. Select it. Click. And now it has a DOP import. Let's check our AutoDOP network. Yes, now we have skirt front and back. So once again, let's try the tool. Stitch, select, it worked, hit enter, and we're going to select this point here, hit enter, then we're going to select that one, hit enter, select that point there, hit enter, and now we should have a new one. And I'm going to colorize these guys, say green, or the same color green kind of as the skirt there. So we've got skirt front and back. Let's just grab our groups that we made here. So we've got skirt R, there's the right side. Dive inside, and we're going to paste that. That's for the front. Jump up one level. Skirt back, it has a group for the right, and we're going to dive inside AutoDOP, and we're going to paste that in there, and then we're going to copy and paste this, connect it in, and just do the left side, and we need to go back in, and it's in the second group is skirt left. Copy. Dive into AutoDOP, paste in the left numbers, go into skirt back, second group, left numbers, copy, dive in, and paste those numbers. And once again, let's just examine our cross stitching, and look at that. They do look good. No cross stitching. Excellent. Set that back to hard. And let's also, while we're in here, let's go ahead and set up their collision values as well. And that I think was 001. So we want this to be 0.001 or 001. And collision here, cloth thickness 0.001, 01, 01, 01. And now let's see what we get when we sim forward. You can see our simulation is taking a bit longer now that we have more cloth in the simulation and more constraints, and there were quite a few points along here connecting that together. I'm not really sure how this waist is going to snug up to the body. In Marvelous Designer, there's a great feature where you can just select a line and add elastic to it. And I'm not sure how to emulate that yet in Houdini. So my expected experience is that it will simulate, but it may fall off the character. And let's see what we got. It looks like nothing happened with the skirt. I don't really understand why. There's no gravity. Let's try it. We will turn gravity back on. Sorry about that. And it looks like we'll rewind forward. And maybe instead of going to the end, we'll just play it so we can watch it drop down and see if we get any immediate errors here. And one thing, it looks like it's kind of hanging in there, but it's being held up by these hands. And what's sweet in Marvelous Designer is you can actually select these things and actually grab the garment away from the collision object. So that's what now here we don't really have that option other than just chopping her arms off, as far as I know, because I don't see any way. You can see that's clearly in the way. Now we could shrink the circle, and maybe that's the simplest way. So let's rewind, and this time we'll select these, and we'll keep scaling in to, say, somewhere around there. Whoops. I guess we have to do it up here to get both of them at the same time. Whoops, wrong one. Translate. Something like that. And I think we have room to shrink in the skirt even more here. Oh, now we're seeing the waist. Okay, so we need it to be kind of out there. Whoops. And it would be nice if there was a way we could get this to work, because ideally I think we'd want this skirt to kind of be up around here and then shrunk in a bit. Whoops. And then maybe each one of these can kind of come in like that. They don't really have to be that close because the stitching will snap them in to place. But that almost, I think, will do it. And we're just going to cheat at this point just to get through this tutorial. We're going to drop this down just a touch. And I think we may have to scale it up though. And let's just run our sim and see what we get. So the dress drops down. And the top snugs up. And as far as adding pleats and folds, that is probably something for another episode. But after watching this and going through it, definitely the pose, we probably could have corrected her pose. That would have been the simplest way now that I think about it, because, and that's one nice thing about completely working in Houdini, is in Marvelous Designer you can't adjust the pose. It's just like a statue. But here in Houdini you can, and we could add more flexibility to the cloth there. I'm no cloth expert, I'm just learning the cloth engine, but this is it. This was my attempt at trying to make a top and a skirt for the simple female character inside Houdini. And with that, I'm out.